No, just
Hello. Yes, it's good. So I think crowd is mixed crowd, many young people and middle age and experienced one. So this is very good blend. And I always feel basically I'll introduce myself. First of all, I'm volunteer for CTiS. And secondly, I'm heading the Department of Computer Engineering at Pune Institute of Computer Technology, which is an engineering college. And first, as I'm part of ACM, that is Association of Computing Machinery. So I got involved. I came to know about CS Pathshala, and further, I have attended some sessions or maybe workshops they are conducting. Vipul sir and Sonia ma'am, they are very much passionate about all these computational teaching, learning, and also further I thought like I should also jump in this, and how much I can contribute, that much I'm trying to do, because with all other responsibilities, and I'm sure this will happen with all of you, because our profession is very noble profession, right? So it is very less for us and more for others. So once the teacher, we are passing some information, we're training the teacher for something new which we want to incorporate in the society, then be assured it will reach out to thousands of people, right? Any teacher in the year is in contact with more than 100 200 students, right? You are interacting with one classes, two classes, three classes, like this. So I think Trixie sir is here. So let's welcome sir. Good morning, sir. So Honorable Director ISIR, Professor Sandeep sir, and all the teachers, passionate teacher, all CS Pathshala volunteers, and the professors from IITs and other premier organization. So I, Dr. Geetanjali Kai, welcome you all on behalf of CTiS team. So very good morning to all of you. Just one quote for my passionate teacher who are always passionate about innovation, and that's why they are here. So बेहतर से बेहतर की तलाश करो, मिल जाए नदी तो सागर की तलाश करो, टूट जाते हैं शीशे पत्थर की चोट से, टूट जाए पत्थर ऐसा शीशा तलाश करो. So always we should be passionate about learning new things, finding new things, as there are so many definitions of research, innovation, and all. So just it is a discovery, like it is already available in nature, and you are just exploring existence of it, right? So there might be some other opinions on this, but explore more. And as I shared before as well, it is teaching is more about others and very less about us, right? This is very noble profession. We're reaching out to young generation of the society. So just coming down to CS Pathshala. So this is very great initiative and very well supported by MNCs and the premier organizations like ICER, IITs. And I have seen there are professors and researchers volunteering for this particular initiative, and they are striving hard to reach out to the whole community and specifically the government schools. So I see the Vipul and Sonia, they always try hard that they should reach to everyone, converting the content from the English to other regional languages so that it should be understandable to all the students in the community. So I think being a big round of applause for their efforts. And like other, I have contributed in conversion of very few content, but everybody from the to whom the Sonia and Vipul are contacting, they always say, okay, how to contribute, we will contribute for that. Even my students, I can say teachers, and the just I asked and I understood that many teachers are attending this city as first time. So I'm sure they will be part of this permanently. So without taking much time, now I hand over next session to Miss Bhagwati.
Thank you, Gitanjali ma'am. A very good morning to everyone present here. It is needless to mention that it's a privilege that GG International School, a senior secondary school, is hosting the workshop and the conference today, the 6th CTiS conference in ICER today. And I also thank the entire ICER community and the organization to help us in giving this venue and organizing. In the year 2017, GG International School became a partner with CS Pathshala, and this curriculum was integrated in school. And with so many years of experience, I just would like to say that, the integration of science, maths, and computational thinking has taken us beyond what we were doing as a part of the computer syllabus that we were doing. In simple words, I just want to say that the curriculum that we are following with CS Pathshala is nothing but developing problem-solving skills in the children, giving them a problem or they finding a problem and exploring a solution for it. Like Gitanjali ma'am also said, it's just about exploring in the schools. And this is what we were doing. With this, I being a part of the Sahodaya group of schools, Sahodaya is a group of CBSE schools in Pune, and this CS Pathshala curriculum has been implemented by many schools across Pune. And I would also like to say that the implementation of this curriculum does not mean only computers or only programming. It's like a blend of the entire syllabus of the entire learning that the children gain in this school curriculum itself. So without taking much of your time, I, on behalf of CTiS conference and as a host for today's and yes, tomorrow's conference, I welcome each one of you to this conference. And I believe that with the wonderful sessions that have been planned in these 2 days, we will be taking a lot with us. And our teachers today also who are present here will be taking a lot with them today. We are honored to have with us the director of ICER, Mr. Sunil Bhagwat, sir. It's indeed an honor to have this eminent personality whose journey in the field of research, science and technology is nothing but only inspiring. With over 100 international publications, over 80 national conferences, presentations, and 10 patents to his credit, ladies and gentlemen, let's put a big round of applause to Mr. Sunil Bhagwat, the Director of Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Pune. We welcome you, sir. He's also the professor of chemical engineering at the Institute of Chemical Technology, where he was earlier the head of the Department of Chemical Engineering and Dean Academic Programs. His area of specialization is interfacial science and artificial neural networks, energy, exergy, engineering. He was also awarded the best Teacher Award in ICT several times, and Indian National Science Academy also awarded him in the year 2016. In 2019, the UDCT Alumni Association Distinguished Alumnus Award was also given to Sir, and he has also received the Indian Chemical Council KV Mariwala Award for Chemical Industry Academia Partnership 2022 and was elected Fellow of the Indian National Academy of Engineering in 2023. He's also an active consultant to many chemical industries. Thank you, sir, for being with us today and sparing your valuable time with us. With this, I request sir to please address the audience.
Very good morning to you all. It's a pleasure to welcome you to this campus, which works very differently than many other science places that you may have known before. Most of us have seen science programs in the country with a 3-year degree followed by a 2-year master's, which many of you probably have gone through. But here in this institute, what we do is that we take 12th standard students and straight 5 years BS and MS integrated program. Not only that, we get them engaged with research right after their first year till final year. And the 5th year is a full-fledged research project as if it was a mini PhD project. To add to this, what we do is we recognize the independence of students and the fact that today, most of the times, decisions about the students are no longer taken by students but by their parents. And in order to empower the students to take their own decisions, our admissions at the first year happen as science students. It does not bracket them as chemistry, biology, physics. We of course have physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology. We have earth and climate science. We have data science. We have science education. We have humanities and social science. But we do not bracket them at the start. In the first 3 semesters, they would study all these subjects equally. And it is after that, in their 4th semester, that they start picking electives from various departments as they want. And if they accumulate enough number of credits in, let's say, mathematics, then when they graduate with a BS and MS, they would be given a BS-MS major in mathematics. If they decide to keep all subjects together, they will get a BS-MS science, which means is that the student is himself or herself free to take whichever subjects they want as they go from their 2nd year to 4th year and a 5th year research project. In fact, we also permit and encourage our students if they want to do a research project abroad. But here itself, a lot of them will do their research projects, and people from other institutes also then come here to do their research projects with us for a semester, sometimes a year, and so on. Why I am mentioning this is that it all begins with what these students come with. And that is substantially in the hands of all of you. You are the people who groom them to do something. One of the messages I would really want all of you to keep in mind is that it is much more difficult to teach at school level than at college and senior levels. So hats off to you, you are doing a much more difficult job. In fact, as we go to higher and higher PhD courses, it is much simpler. A research work that I am doing, I am explaining to the students. But to keep the students who want to probably run away and stay outside the classroom, to keep them in the classroom and teach them, kudos to you. Second, these students, when they come to science, many of them are with an impression that since they have picked science, that was the only thing important in life. As a result, many of them get an impression, I'm going to focus on science and I can ignore languages. And that is the biggest problem that we face. When the students come here, they are unable to communicate. Now, whether you are going to be a scientist, a chartered accountant, or maybe an airline pilot, whatever you think of, communications are always going to be essential, and languages are going to make the foundation. Agreed that chemistry has its own language, mathematics has its own language. But the basic language caters to all these, and therefore it should not be ignored at school levels. If all of you being at that level, if you can give that message to the students that communications are going to be essential, please do that on our behalf, that do not ignore languages. Second thing is computers. When I was studying, computer was something to be dreamed of. When I was in my high school, I had never seen a computer, the smallest variety of computer also. Then we came into a college, we started using calculators, then computers. Today we do a lot of research work using computers. But today's kids, when they come, they are expected to be familiar with use of computers. Think of a few hundred years ago when there was no pen and paper, and people were only expected to memorize and remember. And then came paper, printed books, notebooks, and at that time, there must have been special classes and CTiS like sessions held how to use that paper for printing and writing. Today, that is our daily bread and butter, right? So almost already use of computers for different things has become like that. Not only that, the kind of computer which was carried in the Apollo mission to the moon, its capability is already surpassed by the smartphone that you carry in your pocket, which means the pace of change is going to be very high. And today, in fact, people also think that if artificial intelligence and machine learning is going to take away my jobs, or that's the fear that many people carry. And even there, let me tell you one thing, we have to always make sure that the human brain stays one step ahead of the computer. And when the detectives want to catch the thief and they want to stay one step ahead of the thief, they have to think like the thief first. So right from your childhood, the kids have to be told how to think like a computer will think, so that they are always on the top and not the computer. So I think schools like this, programs like this will definitely go a long way in making sure that the human brain is always going to remain an unlimited resource, not to be matched by anything else. Wish you a very enjoyable and a learning day and the time ahead. Thanks for calling me here, and once again, best wishes.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. I hope we completely agree with sir that communication is an integral part of our school education. So I believe that languages that we study in school are not to be restricted between those textbooks and the boundaries that we have, but they have to go much beyond than the boundaries that we have planned for ourselves with respect to the textbooks that we follow. So our school has been, our children have been working with ICER, and there are 4 alumni that I have in my school. 3 passed out from ICER and 1 has got into ICER this year. So the entire, the duration that we have, they come and talk to their 11th and 12th standard children, and the kind of learning that they get in ICER is commendable. So thank you so much. Thank you, sir, so much. And now I hand over to Mr. Vipul Shah. one of the most active members of CS Pathshala and the founder member of CS Pathshala. I think with his constant support that we keep on getting at every given point of time deserves a big round of applause.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pune and CTiS. I saw Chennai people sweating. That has to be something, right? How can Chennai people be sweating in Pune? And well, so welcome to the humid weather here. I was told that we should always have talk about CS Pathshala. And I think it's something that we should talk about, that's because that's something to celebrate. We started this journey in 2000, towards the end of 2015, 2016 beginning. And there are two people in this room here who actually conned me into this, Madhavan and Venki here. And I'm thankful to them that they did. And we started this. But we started with small people with 15 schools. Many of those schools are here today, the ones who were part of the early adopters. And I must say they were really brave. Because this was something new, something different coming their way, and they took the plunge in this, right? And I think that is what gave us inspiration that we are on the right track. We can do better, and we can continue to work on this in this area. 15 grew to 50, and I think the rest you know. We even actually stopped counting the number of students because I think every year more and more schools are adopting. In many cases, we don't even know who's adopting and who's implementing this. Large number of training programs have been held over the years, and it's been wonderful to see how the community has stepped up. When we started this, our whole idea was to build a community of practice, and I'm happy to see that community of practice come to life through CTiS. 6th year, and we still see the same amount of interest and enthusiasm from the community. And so the community stepped up and they now took over the training that was happening and carried it forward. So why did we get into this? I think we felt it was important to look at computer science as a subject differently from IT that we were teaching in schools. And I think we believe that it was important to lay the foundations for that. Our initial charter was to look at saying, how do we influence policy? How do we train teachers? How do we create draft curriculum and content that can be useful for the teachers to try out in school? I think that was the initial idea when we started this. And I'm happy to note that we have succeeded to varying degrees in each and every one of these. We were able to provide inputs to NEP, later position papers to the National Focus Group, and fortunately the NCF that came out last year has a similar curriculum for computational thinking. And I think thanks to everyone who contributed towards that, right? Thank you. So that was the curriculum part. Training, I think, I wouldn't name the numbers and all. I think one thing which I must say, I don't know how many of you are how many of your schools have been participating in BABRIS? Okay. Yes. So I would love for all of others who are not doing it to take a note of it. Get your kids introduced to it. It's for free for all age groups 8 to 18. We have been supporting multiple languages. If your language is not supported, let us know. We can try to support it this year. But I think do provide this opportunity because BABRIS is designed to excite students in computing, get them interested, and I'm sure you will find, like the other teachers have done, this to be an enjoyable exercise for them. So I think without further ado, I would like to hand it over to the organizers. And thank you again. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces. I mean, people who started, as I said, the journey with us. So many of them are in this audience right now. Thank you again for your support, and it's wonderful to see you again. Thank you.
I can just hold it. You want to start the first section? Okay, there's an easy report. I will just do 2 minutes.
Presentation. I have sent you one slide. I think I just have to do a few remarks and then I'll hand it
Screen
over
में
to
जाके रखो.
All right. Very good morning, everyone. My name is Neil Dhara. I'm from IIT Gandhinagar. And along with Geeta, we had the opportunity to be the program committee co-chairs for this edition of CTiS. And at the outset, I'd like to thank the CTiS steering committee for entrusting us with this very important task of curating this program. It turned out to be a really challenging task this time because thanks to the efforts from Sonia and her team, we got, I think, the most number of abstracts that have ever been submitted to CTiS this year. So CTiS is clearly on a growth trajectory. I'd like you to give yourselves a hand for, this amazing growth. So the main conference had 160 submissions. If you count all the submissions that came across all the regional conferences that were held this year, we crossed 250 abstracts. I think Sonia had challenged herself to cross 200, and we crossed that by a mile, I think. So this was phenomenal. So really exciting, but really hard for the program committee because, as you know, we're still a two-day conference and there's only so many slots. So you'll see that we have more parallel sessions than ever before because we really couldn't say no to so many of the abstracts that were so good. And unfortunately, a lot of good abstracts also had to be left out just because we only have a finite amount of time. So if you know anyone or if you are someone who couldn't make it to the main event this year, please come back next time and don't be disheartened. We just really had an outpouring of very high quality submissions this time. So 77 abstracts have been selected for submission in the main conference. Most of them were shortlisted from the submissions that came in directly to CTiS, but wherever we saw that there was a lot of interest, a lot of regional interest, Sonia actually steered this idea of the regional conferences so that everybody got an opportunity to present. So we had, I think, 4 regional conferences this time, and the regionals had also really outstanding support and outstanding attendance, and the best conference, the best presentations from each of the regionals will also be showcased at the main CTiS event. We have a great mix of presentations, demos, posters, panels, and of course, we have a most wonderful invited talk that's coming up today. It's the highlight of today's session. I think all of you know about the program. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank the program committee and the extended set of reviewers for their work in not just reviewing the abstracts, but I think CTiS is this unique conference, where, at least in my experience, I haven't seen this follow-up round of one-on-one mentorship. So if you're giving a talk at the conference, you have probably interacted with somebody over a call who has helped you fine-tune the presentation. So it's really been such an amazing effort from a very large team working behind the scenes to put together the program. Of course, all the organizers, all our sponsors. We are going to come back and, in the closing session, give you an explicit list of everyone who was involved. But at the outset, I just wanted to congratulate everyone who is here and thank everybody who has put in this effort behind the scenes. I wanted to give you a sense of the numbers. I won't get in your way anymore. I'd love to hand this over to Venki, who's going to take this over into the first session of the program this morning. Thank you very much.
Hi, thanks, Neil. So we start with what the conference is all about, presentations from teachers. And the first session, we have 4 presentations. The first of them is Sneha Umbalkar from Kalmadi Shamrao High School. Sneha. When 2 minutes are left, we'll show this thing. When you have to, no, for when 2 minutes are left. Right.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sneha Umbarkar from Dr. Kalmadi Shamrao High School, Baner. Under the theme of city and coding, the topic of my presentation is explore artificial intelligence projects using Scratch programming. Today, I will discuss the importance of introducing AI to the young learner. As we all know, we are in the fifth generation of a computer characterized by AI, so it is very essential to make our students aware about new technology. Last year, I have conducted an unplugged activity on face recognition. As we all know, the definition of AI says it's a simulation of a human intelligence, which is processed by the machine. This process includes learning, reasoning, and self-correction. To make this definition understand, I have conducted that activity, which is on face recognition, which I had presented on the same platform, CTiS 2023. Because of that unplugged activity, students have understood the basic and the systematic process behind AI. So they got the encouragement and they came with a various project where they tried to develop machine learning, image recognition, natural language processing in their project, which is a very essential part of AI. Among various projects, one of the notable project is the Ocean Saver robot. It's actually a simulator which they tried to develop. For this project, they got the inspiration when they have seen a National Geographic documentary on Pacific garbage patch. Littering on beaches makes the ocean polluted. To address this problem, our grade 7 student came with this innovative robot who is trying to collect the trash from the sea and save marine life. In the project demonstration, you can see. Can you please play the video? Fifth slide. In the project demonstration, you can see. It was a video. Okay. So, unfortunately, it was very. Yeah, it is because that is very important to see the video, like how the students have did it, because they trained the robot for what is trash and what is fish. Once the training has been done, and when you will click on the run button where actually simulator has started and it's automatically identifying, and if it is a trash, then it gives a red color mark and it's trying to discard that. If it's a fish, it gives a green color tick mark and it allows to flow. If any object comes in between, for that, if it's not got the training, then it gives a question mark with aqua color. Means here they are trying to use machine learning. Like as much as training you will give to that machine, that much accuracy you will get it. So at this level, as we all know, Scratch has lot of limitation for such complex algorithm. But still they used list, user-defined functions, city elements, they used it very correctly to make this project work. Sorry, but it was not working. Many challenges came, like technical, limited data available, resources available. Scratch is not that up to the mark for such complex algorithm. But still they came of all the obstacles out because of their determination, hard work, their problem solving skill, the teamwork which they have it in them. I really appreciate my students at very early stage. They learned AI technology, at least the basics, and they tried to address this AI and they use this technology and the programming language to solve the real-time issue. At least they started thinking about all the environmental challenges right now which we are facing. With the help of this, they improved their computational thinking, coding skill. They empowered their creativity and problem solving skill. The another project is also very interesting, that is a chat buddy. It is an interactive chatbot which engages the user in a conversation and which provide assistance on the various topics. So here they tried to develop a chatbot. Here also in the project demonstration, you cannot see. Because here very interactive thing has happened. Like if you are asking a question, do you like robot? and the students have typed not at all. So it gives a proper response, very like a similar, oh no, I don't know what you are talking about. So like that, a very dynamic thing has happened over here. In this project, they tried to add rock, paper, scissor game also. Over there, the bot is trying to understand the pattern of a player and it gives the response accordingly. At the end, it gives a winning status also. What is it's tie? Is it a tie or you win, you lose? So whatever the status it's trying to identify, it gives the response accordingly. Here also students have faced lot of challenges like the random choices. The user has multiple inputs are possible. So how to handle that inputs? That is also a very much challenging thing they have observed or they have experienced over here. But still, they use the decomposition. They break down the problems into different sections. They tested the project multiple times to make it work. They use scratch features like receive broadcast, random function, list, user defined function. They pass the parameters very correctly, which is really very much appreciable at this beginning stage. Sometimes they have taken a help from the community forum also to make this project successful. Because of that hands-on activity, they have understood the basics of natural language processing, which is very important. Their programming and the communication skill has also increased because of this experience while working on this coding project. And as we all know, critical thinking is very much required in such projects. Overall impact of this activity was very good. While working on this AI project using Scratch programming, students helped to develop, they had the very much crucial thing they have developed in their mind. It's a computational thinking, how to think, because these skills are very much required for problem solving and logical reasoning. Without that, the project won't go ahead. At the same time, when they develop their own project in AI, they try to use their creativity, their innovation thing inside that, and they come up with a very nice output. With the help of this, they got the confidence also for tackle with the real-time issue. And I'm proudly say that these students are really very much ahead in thinking, logical thinking. They have lot of creative ideas in their mind. In this way, we are trying to make our student prepare for this future learning. We are in the digital era, so we are trying to make them aware about all this technology and they are implementing it also very nicely so they can make their career in the same field. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Neha. Finishing in time. Yeah. So we have time for a couple of questions. Anyone has a... Yeah, you can try playing the video if in the meantime.
Do you have?
Yeah, any questions?
Okay, we'll open mail then. So can you freeze that?
Yeah.
Windows P. Species screen. Okay, we'll open or what?
I have a similar question on this topic that when we are teaching artificial intelligence to the students, how to introduce the term artificial intelligence itself to the students. It's about how to explain to them what we call as artificial intelligence to a grade 7 or a grade 10 students. Thank you.
उनकी मेल पे दे
Good question. Yeah.
So when you start AI, don't directly tell them the definition of AI. First of all, we have to make them familiar with what exactly AI and how we are using in a day-to-day life. So they are already using it. They are using, like we have seen, WhatsApp has also included Meta AI nowadays. So they're all aware about it. So like this, you try to introduce them where AI is not something separate now. It's already included in every area or every aspect. It doesn't matter. It's a finance, it's a healthcare, or it's in teaching. Everywhere AI is already present. It's already taken part of it. It's not something very beyond or very, it's not a separate thing is available. So first of all, you have to introduce all these examples to them and then slowly take them to the actual streaming. Then they will understand it more.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so one more round of appreciation. So the next presentation is Netri Kulkarni, Trupti Parde, and Mihir Savai.
Okay. Sure, sure. Yeah. First of all, good morning to all of you. I, Netri Kulkarni, along with my co-authors, Trupti Parde, and our alumni from our school, Mihir Savai, we all are here to present our abstract in front of you today. Our topic is teaching basic operations of mathematics through gamification. So when the word gamification is there, let's play a game. So I would like to ask one volunteer to come here and we'll play a game. Can I have somebody? Yeah, so this game requires a gamer, means somebody who's like, I call Mihir as a gamer, and she's a volunteer. So please ask your questions. The question is, basically the volunteer has to choose one of the fruits that is over there and keep it in mind, and the gamer is going to identify. So you have certain questions to answer. So I would like to give it to Trupti to have these questions.
So she's a student, right? Standard 2 student. Okay, baby, now tell me. Yeah, keep a fruit in your mind and just choose one fruit from the column. There are 6 columns. Did you choose a fruit? Yes, ma'am. You have chosen. Okay, is it in the first column? Yes, ma'am. It is there. Okay, in second? Yes, ma'am. Third? Okay, then fourth column? No, ma'am. Then fifth column? Sixth. So your fruit is in first. Yes. Mihir, it is in first. Then second and only 1 and 2. Yes. So Mihir, can you guess the answer? Which fruit she has?
So what was your fruit? Mango?
Yes. Wow, right guess.
Okay, this is a small demo of the game. Basically, we wanted to introduce this game to standard 2, and there's an algorithm behind it. So if the gamer wants to continue, there will be many volunteers, and the algorithm was basically just an addition of all the columns in which the fruit appears. So this we actually took this to standard 2, and the idea for taking, so implementation was basically, if you see, there are only 6 columns. So the permutation combination of addition would be not more than 10. So the children were introduced to mental maths, adding single-digit numbers. They were doing it in their head and answering the questions. So that was the main part. When we introduced this game to standard 2, the enthusiasm that we could see in the class, the involvement of the children was enormous. Everyone wanted to play the game. Some of them could really guess the algorithm at the back end. So they were calculating at the end. And then we gave this game and they played the game. Then the further on that we did was we took the same game and went it to standard 6. Now this is a very simple algorithm that they used. But the outcome for standard 6 was very, very different. So if you, if you can see a few of them, if you go behind, here you can see they are just playing the game. The standard 2 children are playing and enjoying the game. Next, if you go on to the next slide. Yeah, we introduced this game to standard 6. But the objective of taking this game to standard 6 was basically to see whether the children can identify the algorithm quickly. And it was not just this game, but there were 2 more variations that we also took. And the objective in standard 2 and objective in standard 6 was very, very different. There we were trying to give them mental math and communication skill as a main objective, whereas in the higher standards we took them and the emphasis was basically identification of the pattern. So if you play the game 2 or 3 or 4 times, the pattern emerges. And we were asking the children to predict the pattern, find the algorithm behind the game. And here I would like to show you, this is another variation of the game. Here if you see, it is addition and division. I don't know whether you can figure this out. So if I consider Mumbai as something in my mind, if I'm the volunteer, Mumbai appears in 1 and 3. And if you see in the answer statement, Mumbai appears under the 2 flap. So here addition and division. So it was addition and division by 2 was the algorithm used over here. Can we move on to the next? Yeah, so this was the game played with the higher grades. And of course, after five or six trials, they were able to identify the algorithm over here. Next, this is the second variation of the game again. Here, the operations were addition and subtraction. So this was a tough one because the children couldn't guess it. We played this game a number of times. So I don't know whether you can identify it. If I look at the highlighted Kerala as the state, and the Kerala appears as answer in under the flap 1. And if you can also do it in your mind how you want to play it. But here the algorithm was, if Kerala is in all the columns, the total comes out to be 10. And Kerala appears under 1. So we did 11, that's a subtraction, 11 minus the total. So that's how the algorithm is used to create this game. And of course, children loved to play this game again. Algorithm was tough to find out. So if you go to the next slide, it is these are the games about 11 minus the addition of the columns, and we wanted to. So this was a tough one to identify. If I go into the observations after we played these games a number of times in different classes, the children were encouraged to make their own games. So I think we have lots and lots of examples where the children have also created games. Overall impact of this particular gamification in mathematics we saw was basically those who were not even fond of mathematics were trying to use the algorithm at the back of their head that I want to be the gamer and I want to recognize and I want to predict. So I am the magician, in the play. So I think we triggered that. Of course, a lot of computational thinking because a pattern emerges only after you put it in place. So there is a lot of logic behind it. And math concepts, I think if we also look at it, if I am the one who is playing the game a number of times, there's a lot of reinforcement of that particular operation that is happening because I am calculating 10 times in my head. So I think that was the impact. Here you can see that these are the student stories. This was a game where the logic that the child used was subtraction, like addition and subtracting 4 from it. And that's how that girl had created a game. The second variation, this girl from standard 6 used, addition and division, I think she used. Addition and division by 3. So that was one of the games. This was a tough one. A child really took it to a highest level. And there he used permutation, combination, and multiplication of columns. So that's how he created this game. So we'll show you some samples of them. So it was completely, we were actually overboard when we saw that, okay, we started with such a simple thing. And when we took it to higher classes, I think sky is the limit to make any kind of game out of it. So if you see the overall impact and possible extension of these games, we could also take this to standard 9 and 10. We thought if we can use mensuration formulas where the R, like if I just show you an example, it is 2 pi R, if that's a circumference formula. R is the variable. So we are having all the variables that are coming out because each one is predicting and the variables are coming out. So if R becomes the variable and the child is using a formula of 2 pi R, then of course, the child is actually, the reinforcement of those particular formulas, which are very, very important in higher grades. Also, it can be used for using it for 2 variables. So, one variable could be where the name appears 1 time. And you can also have a question which could be very different. Does that particular thing, what is kept in your mind, appears twice? So accordingly, the gamer can really make those calculations in head and a lot of mental mathematics, and it can be reinforced again and again. So the overall conclusion that we all thought, and I'm very, very happy that Mihir was involved with us. He's an alumni of the school and also currently in PICT College. So I think, the variations that we found, he was also pretty excited about it. And of course, that really, really helps. So we are actually trying to create critical thinking and computational thinking in terms of mathematical operations and algorithm creation. And the creation of a game is the highest level of computational thinking that we thought. And the excitement is really pouring. So every day I get a game coming from one student and they say, ma'am, we made this game. So, and they are trying to play it home. And I think the enthusiasm is beyond how I can express. That the kids are loving it, and I think the fever will take over the whole school, I believe, and we'll have lots and lots of games coming. And the fear of mathematics is going away. I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of this. And of course, the conclusions are all over here for you to see. But I think the excitement is tremendous, and we are really so happy that we took this and we are now actually taking it further in all the classes. Thank you so much. If you have any questions.
Thank you. Yeah, one question. Anyone? Yeah.
The descriptions of those algorithms that you said, right? Add these, subtract 11 from the sum.
Yeah.
Or subtract the sum from the 11. Yeah, sorry. So these descriptions are what you are providing or how the children came up with?
No, actually, we created the games, 2 or 3 variations. So we had it in mind that this is the algorithm we are going to use.
I know.
And we played the game, but we asked the children to predict what could be the algorithm behind each answer coming right.
Okay.
So they were actually, when we played it for a number of like 10 times or 20 times if you play, some
children came up with those ideas, right?
The other games which we showed were their own algorithms. So they created the game.
So how did they express them? So
actually they played it as if I am the magician.
Okay.
So unless they tell what is the algorithm,
so you have to keep a logic in your mind.
No. His question is, did the children finally see what the formula is?
Yes. One student in 6th standard, they could make it out. Like 11 minus 10.
If you take difficult algorithms, it's tough to predict. Yeah.
But when the students created the game, did they explicitly say what the formula they are using?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, next is Atul Bondre from School of Scholars, Yavatmal. So, yes. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mr. Atul Bondre from School of Scholar Yavatmal, Maharashtra. I am proud to say that our group is one of the early adopters of CT starting from the year 2019-20. I am delighted to be here today to share with you one interesting topic that blends mathematical concepts with computer science. My topic is exploring Armstrong numbers, a fascinating journey into mathematical pattern. For this project, I involve 40 students from standard 9. This activity aims at exploring Armstrong number, which enhance the computational thinking skills of the students and providing practical insights into algorithm design and programming. Let's dive into the concept of what is Armstrong number. Armstrong number is a number which is equal to sum of its own digit, each raised to the power of total number of digits in that number. For an example, 153 is Armstrong number. Why? Because if we separate all the digits individually, 153, and compute the cube and then sum it up, then it matches with the original number 153. So 153 is Armstrong number. But it is not the case with 163, as the answer is 244, which is not matching with original number. So 163 is not an Armstrong number. The main idea behind conduction of this project is to develop computational thinking skills of the student. This is the flowchart which we derive after the systematic question answer sessions with the students. Let's see how we derive this flowchart of deciding whether the given number is Armstrong number or not. First, I ask question to the student. For example, 153 is the Armstrong number. So how we can decompose the number 153 to get the last digit 3 as a remainder. So many students come up with a reply that if we subtract 150 from 153, then the outcome will be 3. But some students said that this solution is specific to 153 only. If we try it with 163 or 179, it will not work. So I challenge the students to think for the universal solution which will work with all the possible numbers. Then one student responded correctly that if we modulo divide the given number by 10, then ultimately last digit will come out as a remainder. So 153 modulo divide 10, it results in 3. So that's how we decompose the last number out of that 153, and that's how we derive the first step from the loop. Then I ask second question to students that how we can decrement the number 153 to 15. Now see, the work with 3 is over, as we have already separated the number. Now I ask student that how we can decrement the given number 153 to 15. Then this time students themselves think in a universal manner that we should find a solution which will be applicable to all the number and not to the specific number like 153 only. So if we floor divide the given number by 10, then the quotient will be 15. That answer came from the student side and that was correct. And that's how we derive the second step from the loop. Then we calculate the cube of separated digit 3 and add it to the variable sum. That's how we complete the 3 steps of the loop. Now my next question to the students was, what will be the stopping condition for this loop? The loop will keep on repeating. So what will be the possible stopping condition for this loop? Then again with the systematic question answer sessions and discussion, we came up with the solution. When the given number is decremented to 0, we should stop the loop. Then, so using this loop, we compute the sum. Now, we need to compare this sum with the original number. We tried to compare it with original number and the output was surprisingly saying that 153 is not an Armstrong number. So I asked student what went wrong, what is the wrong in our logic. Then again, after thinking, one student replied that, sir, we are comparing the sum with the original number, and original number ultimately decreased to 0 as we repeatedly divided by the power of 10. So I asked them for the possible solution. What can be the possible solution for this flowchart to complete in a proper way? So student replied that we can save the copy of original number to some other variable before entering into the loop. Though the original number decremented to 0, but the copy of that variable still will be intact in some other variable. So we can compare that copy with the sum and then output was right. So then we implement this algorithm through Python program. You can see the slide here where we implement this algorithm. So this exploration activity of Armstrong number significantly enhance the computational thinking skills of our student, especially the skills like algorithmic thinking, decomposition, and recursion. These skills get enhanced. We further challenge them with some more activities like printing all the Armstrong number in the range 1 to 500, reversing the number to decide if the number is palindrome or not, to calculate the sum of individual digits of the number. As students started getting interested in this activity, they also explore that the use of Armstrong number in cryptography, like RSA algorithm is one algorithm, cryptographic algorithm, which uses Armstrong number as its basic principle. So it highlights practical utility of Armstrong number beyond just mathematical curiosity. So here, algorithmic thinking, pattern recognition, and abstraction, this type of concepts came up. As a part of this activity, students also explore the various characteristics and application of Armstrong number, like it is self-descriptive in nature, it is a rare occurrence, symmetry. Armstrong number has its utility in puzzles and cryptographic algorithm, as I already said. So it provides a concrete example how mathematical concepts can be used in day-to-day life scenario. The most important thing is what we get out of this activity. What is the impact of this activity? I thought this activity fostered a deeper understanding of what is computational thinking principles by our student. Also, their debugging and testing proficiency get enhanced, and definitely this activity concretely applied how we can interlink mathematical concepts with programming. Undoubtedly, this project of exploration of Armstrong number enhanced the computational thinking skills such as pattern recognition, algorithmic thinking, decomposition, and abstraction. So this activity definitely showed a significant impact on our student as far as computational thinking skill is concerned. Thank you for your attention. I am ready for any questions from your side.
Thank you very much. Nice talk. Questions? Sir, in the flow chart, could you please put it on the screen, the flow chart?
Yes.
Yeah, on this flow chart, that suppose the number is 1634, then students need to first determine the number of the digits. So how the students are determining the value of small d? That will be 4 in case of, if I take 1634 as the number.
Yes, sir, I agree. Here, D is for a number of digits. So for that, if you think, I can understand that it is not mentioned here. But for that, we can use the length function, where we can, as we know in Python, using input function, we can get a value in the form of string. We calculate the length, and then we can convert it into the number. That can be done.
Yeah. Any other questions? So let's thank the speaker once again.
Thank you.
Now for the last talk of this session, Manisha Girolkar and Gauri Joshi from Shamrao Kalmadi, Dr. Kalmadi Shamrao High School. I have 8 minutes. That's what.
Good morning, everyone. I am Manisha Girolkar and my friend Gauri Joshi. We are from Dr. Kalmadi Shamrao High School, Ganesh Nagar, Pune. As our school was the pilot school for adopting CS Pathshala curriculum in 2016, we are incorporating all the city activities in our computer and ATL syllabus. Even our language and math science teachers are also trying to inculcate city skills in their teaching learning process. Now about today's topic. We live in the digital world and cybersecurity is one of the biggest concern. We read the news like this every day. So to make our students aware of the potential risk in the digital world and make them make them ready for how to protect their data, their devices, and themselves from the threats. We have incorporated this cyber security lesson from standard 5 to standard 10. Now for standard 7, we have taken importance of digital locking system. You know that this topic is theoretical, but we tried to include city activities. The first activity was creating the password, and second was innovating new digital locking system. The objective of this activity, the first one is providing the opportunity is for computational thinking, and the second one very important is we have used city as differentiated element. We know that in the class of 40, there are 5 to 10 students who are having high ability, and they are always wanting the challenge and they will go ahead. So for them, I think city is the best tool. Then to get the innovative ideas from the student, we have kept open-ended questions. Even though our activity is structured, we haven't set any fixed output. And we did the variation at every stage to get the exciting outputs and from the original output. Because process is important, not the output. So now Gauri will take you through the process of this.
So the first important step in our activity was to have a discussion regarding the passwords. We all know that we live in a digital era where we have passwords for our devices. So here we discussed with the students how to keep passwords, and students also shared their experiences that their parents usually prefer to have their names, surnames, date of birth, special characters are as password, which are easy to remember. So at this point we asked them a question: is it safe to have such weak passwords, or is it safe to have this password? So the answer from the students were no. So here they realized the need of strong passwords. So our discussion led to the question, how can we create a strong password? Here I gave them the example. I can create a code of my name, say for example G5J5 at the rate 1234. So I can put my set of rules and design a password. So here we pose the challenge to the students that can you create an algorithm to generate a strong password? And 2 hours, and this created a wave of enthusiasm in the class. They were busy applying their own rules to design strong passwords, and there was a lot of excitement. Everybody wanted to share. And to our surprise, 10 to 15 students came up with their own set of algorithms. So here you can see one of our student has written the algorithm where he has used his own set of rules to generate the password, and to make it a bit difficult, he has converted the letters to numbers and numbers to letters. So the next task the students ask, after algorithm is done, what could we do next, ma'am? So we extended our activity, and as per the students' response, at the spot we asked them, can you write a program out of this algorithm in any language you want? So here you can see students have written the program for this particular algorithm. They have used the proverb or name
or date
or
of
date of
birth,
birth,
and
and
the
the
password
password
is
is
generated.
generated.
Even
Even
though
though
this
this
looks
looks easy, but they have used scratch programming and they have used different functions to code this. The second important part of our system was locking system. We all know we have different locks on our devices like face expression, fingerprints, QR codes. So here we asked student a question, do you find any loopholes in this locking system? So of course the students shared their experiences and they said yes. So here we triggered a question, are there any ways to design an innovative locking system of your own? So we discussed and brainstormed. So they gave certain ideas like voice recognition could be one, asking a specific question to unlock the device, tapping on a phone for a particular pattern, expression and gesture. So out of this listed names, we took only 2 activities. One of the activity was to unlock the device using the expression. So a user sets a particular expression, and if it matches, then the device is going to get unlocked. And the other one was gesture detection. So user has to
use a specific hand movement, the speed of that gesture is recorded, and if it is matches, then the system gets unlocked. So here we would like to show you the demo.
ये स्पीकर वाले किया ना
which uses Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Which
Okay, we will see the video later. Or is it possible? Oh, but okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name
Just
is
take
Manas
forward
Vedare, and
so that they can see the.
we together
So
have
they are
designed this system.
demonstrating their work.
Uses
So
password
here,
recognition and
first of all, they are setting the password and expression, and while unlocking, the expression is matched, then the device will unlock. So as you have seen, now I will go for the impact slide. As you have seen that throughout the activities, students are engaged, and they are not just the passive learner, but they were engaged in designing, coding, and implementing their solution. There were some moments of disappointment where when their code didn't run, when they had exciting idea but they couldn't implement those ideas. But still in the process they learn how to automate the process, and they also realize even though we are using these small automations, how much logic and how much logic and efforts are needed. So I can say they reach to the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. Like they have started with understanding the system, understanding the digital locking system, but they reach to creation application and creation of the new locking system. So I can say that they have shifted from mere user of technology to the creator of technology. The major takeaways for us as teachers, that we should give the minimal instructions, because our role now is changed from teachers to facilitator, and small learning triggers are enough to get the ideas from them. Then keep the open-ended question and engage students in the higher order thinking. Now, with the AI models like ChatGPT, DALI, everything has become so easy. Earlier, we used to think a lot, but everything is in very easy. So it's our responsibility to really, as sir said, we have to keep them one step ahead of AI. So we have to give higher order thinking tasks. Then variations are needed. We cannot put the fixed output for any activity. We should welcome the unexpected output from our young children. Thank you very much. I really thank CS Pathshala for giving this platform. I thank my mentor, Venkatesh sir, and of course my colleagues and my students. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Questions? One question. Yeah.
I have a question. How long did this whole project take, and how did you organize your timetable?
So,
as a math teacher, or
we are the computer teachers, and actually these activities are not as a part of syllabus. They are extended activities, and specially designed for the gifted students. So we have given at least, I think, in a week we have done this, and they have taken, if we count the total period, so 2 to 3 hours they have taken for to design all these things. And for this, for expression recognition, they explore pictoblocks on their own and they used. So many on many incidences they have learned. There was self-learning, and they have come up with their own ideas. Gauri.
Greeting. Hello. Madam, I wanted to ask that as you have said that children were able to unlock or to decide a lock with the gestures as well. So, ma'am, how did you teach students the algorithm or the logic behind the gesture uh, setting password? Because me being a computer graduate, ma'am, I know that it is quite difficult
Yes.
to set this gesture password as well, because it requires a lot of computer vision and a lot of those things as well.
Yes.
So how did children come up with this, or like how did you teach children the logic behind it, that okay, every pixel has to be matched or every section of the image has to be matched with this?
Yes, that is another part. But now they have the exciting idea that expression detection should be done. So they explored Scratch. It was not possible for them. So they found out in Pictoblocks there is expression. It is the AI tool. So teaching how AI tool work is another part. So we have to design another activity for that. But for now, for this particular activity, they have used ready-made AI tool, which is Pictoblocks, but they explore that tool. That is was also not the part of our regular curriculum. They explore and they completed the task because they have so many ideas. So there is limitation for in Scratch, so they couldn't do. But these two things they could do. They have done motion sensor thing and the expression detection thing. And they have kept two locks, like after you could have seen the demo. So expression and password, both the locks they have kept.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks once again. Now, certificates.
All the teachers of the session.
Yeah, everyone come over. Sneha Barkar. Trupti. Trupti.
Switch कौन सा but
Atul. We'll take a joint group photo. Manisha.
Ma'am, light on your.
Gauri, they are not. Gauri, they are depriving you.
Okay. Which switch is what? Like, can you tell me about?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now we break for 1 second. We have an announcement.
Two announcements. One, we request all of you to be in the hall by 10:45 so that we start our sessions on time. Second, anybody's got a video to be. I think I'm audible. Anybody's got a video to. No. Am I audible? Yeah. Two announcements. First, all of us will have to be back here sharp 10:45 because we have the invited speakers thing at 11. Second, anybody's got a video to be played, kindly meet us during the lunch break so that we can test it out.
Also, registration will continue in the lunch break. Please don't go to registration desk now, those who haven't registered, okay? Just have chai and come back. Yeah? They tell your students not to open registration desk.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Manas Pillai and this is my friend Arhan Pawar. We together have designed this system which uses password recognition and face recognition system together. If in this system you do both of the recognitions correctly, you can access the device. You must have heard of face recognition.
वन मिनट वन मिनट
एक मिनट मैं एक बार चेक कर रही हूँ 1 मिनट मेरा स्पीकर ऑफ है।
मैंने यहाँ से करना पड़ेगा। हाँ ठीक है। अब क्या कर रहे हो अभी?
मैं कुछ नहीं कर रही हूँ।
अब मतलब शेयरिंग
करो
करना
ट्राई करो
हाँ ठीक है।
वीडियो किसमें ट्राई
Good morning, everyone. My name is Manas Pillai and this is my friend Arhan Pawar. We together have designed this system which chooses